There's some calls you never forget, and I will never forget Vanessa. The year was 1982, and I responded to a call from radio of a toddler that wasn't breathing. And when I arrived on scene, Vanessa was not alive.
Vanessa died a very violent death. She died of peritonitis of the intestine, ruptured intestine as a result of a severe blow to the abdomen. And in addition, her death certificate revealed hair-pulling trauma, cigarette burns. She had a broken wrist and a fractured skull. She died a very painful, agonizing death at 2 years old. Neither the mother nor the stepfather would testify against the other. They were unable to prove who struck the fatal blow that ultimately killed her, and they were both let go. I had children that were the same age, roughly, as Vanessa. It was incomprehensible to me that anybody could harm one of their own children to the point of killing them.
Bill had taken a trip. We heard about Vanessa's death, and he was in Phoenix, talked to some friends. They said they had a nursery. So he went to look at it, and he said, when I get home to Spokane, I'm going to get involved with their nursery. Well, there wasn't one. So he said, let's do it.
Our first meeting was in October of that same year, 1982. We opened 4 years and 3 months later on January the 9th, 1987, which coincidentally was the 5th anniversary of Vanessa's death.
Our families love their children. Nobody asks for help unless they are truly trying to do better. And so our families are brave in reaching out, but oftentimes they are coming from an environment where nobody ever taught them, nobody ever showed them, they didn't have access to resources. And so if we can get them in our doors and show them that unconditional love and support, I think that's truly going to change who they are as a parent, give them the skills and the tools that they've never had before, which is only going to benefit them as parents, but also benefit their children. And again, just change that trajectory for those children to grow up and be something different than maybe their parents had the opportunity to be. And so if we can, again, make those paths easier and open those doors and provide that support and connect the dots, we truly believe that families are going to be stronger and that we will see a decrease in all the other generational outcomes that are sometimes negative.
If you have financial problems, if you have problems with your family, it just doesn't matter. Just bring them to us. We will take care of the kiddos while we point you in the direction of a place that can help you.
Because we work with children every single day and we know what children need to feel comforted and we know it's developmentally appropriate and we understand the effects of trauma and adverse experiences, we want children in our space because we know we can do it in a way that is really child-centered. So often our systems look at something other than the child. Maybe it's a liability issue or a structural issue or a policy issue, but we really get to focus on what is best for that child and make sure that that environment is unique to every single individual child to make sure that their situation is going to be best for them.
We are parents ourselves. We raised a boy and a girl, and when they were 2, 3, 4 years old, it was a very, very difficult endeavor raising 2 kids under ideal circumstances.
Yeah. If you've ever been a parent, you know that there are times where you think you've reached your limit.
But before you do something that you'll regret, stop, take a breath, and think of reaching out for help. And that's what we're here for.
Really, this started because of a little girl named Vanessa Behan and preventing her story from happening to another child in our community. And when I think about what Bill had dreamed about early on in those days and to see where we have come, it's a little overwhelming at times to think about how this community has stepped up and really invested in the children of our community to say, this is important and we can do this as a group.
One of the things that I was most fearful of, and the board was most fearful of when we first opened, was that we did not have a large endowment or any special funding at that time. If you depend on outside organizations, governmental agencies, what have you, Their efforts are well intended, but their budgets come and go. We gambled that the community would adopt our program and support it privately, and it did in spades.
It's a great resource that Spokane has, and it's a jewel that we have that here.
It is a space where a child is loved. It is a place where a child's life is changed. It is a place where a family feels supported and loved, that a family can feel like they're not judged and that we can do this with them.
We just continue to need Spokane's support, each individual. The potential for what we can do for kids is beyond belief, but we need the continued support. We always will.